Hey, this is Sam Black with my third match with Blue-Red Fairies in Modern, and I'm on the draw again, presumably, waiting for my opponent to decide. So far, I don't know that I've played against an especially representative set of decks, but I've been happy enough with how my deck has been playing. Playing against Lejay, I feel like I've seen that name around, though I don't know who it is. I'm starting to think maybe I should have waited for my opponent to demonstrate presence before recording, although there we go. I did just have to confirm. So this is a hand that's reminiscent of that 5 lands Ancestral Vision Mistbind Click hand that I mulliganed. But here I have a couple of creature lands, and the Spellstutter Sprite gives me more early interaction, and my opponent mulliganed, so I'm going to keep this one. Spellstutter plays well with Mutavault, obviously, so having both of those makes the hand a little better. Planning to just go Island Ancestral Vision here. It might be wrong, but I'm actually going to play the Miscreant. Not in a hurry to get this land down. I'm more in a hurry to get Mutavault down so that I can get past its summoning sickness to allow for the turn 3 animate Mutavault cast Spellstutter Sprite. So I'm going to play this. I'm going to attack. And now there's a reasonable question about whether I want to leave up Sprite for 2 or cast Ancestral Vision. Or suspend Ancestral Vision. And potentially foolishly, I'm going to suspend. I feel like we're at the point where if I don't do it now, it's basically just not happening at a relevant point in the game. I got paid as my opponent didn't do anything. Let's see. Don't need to find a mountain right now, so I'm going to play this. Planning to find island. Just attack for 1. Vendilion Click. Interesting. Well, it works just as well for me. Man, it's a little tempting to let this resolve, but you're never like, even though Faeries is good against this strategy, you're never supposed to just let these decks have it. Though I do think that if that's the business my opponent's in, I'm heavily favored in this matchup. Alright, now I get to... Oh, that was an upkeep. Okay, so I'm not the first one to draw off of it. Makes sense. see. I guess it's getting close to time to play this, but I want to be able to Vapor Snag my spell stutter and play it again, and I'm wondering if I also want to be able to activate Mutavault there. I think I do. Or just do that and also cast Spell Snare or something. Yeah, I'm not going to be attacking with the creature anytime soon, so just play Mysterian Forest. Unfortunately, I don't have a way to counter a Time Walk here. Don't think that's worth countering with the complicated Vapor Snag route. Exhaustion. Well, I guess I don't care. Let's play this and draw a card. And play this. And pass. I don't think I want a Vendilion click and draw step. Oh, well, now I do. I was afraid of this. Is there any way to know which one is the one that was mastery? I was actually thinking this is going to be a problem if my opponent has 2 temporal masteries. Magic Online, why? I have no idea which one of these is the one that I need to take. This doesn't point to it in any way. There's not like a connection between these things. I'm gonna guess the top one because I can imagine that it's showing me the order that they're drawn, and it's somehow starting with this, then this, then this, then this, then this, and I'm trying to get the second to last card drawn here because the reverse doesn't work going the other way. This looks like it's probably just shown alphabetically going down with spells here, in which case maybe the second one would be the bottom one. I have no idea. I'll just take one of them and see what happens. I guess maybe that means I guessed right. I mean, it ultimately doesn't matter much. My opponent just gets to start a Time Lock chain here either way. Well, and we just see if my opponent fizzles. I'm not sure how many card draw effects they have to have for that to become basically impossible. That I can interact with. Well, I guess I should play this and hope this spell snare is somehow relevant. So now I know that if my opponent misses on a time walk, I still don't get to untap. And Mana Leak is not getting better. Sure, I'm not winning this game at this point. I don't actually know how this deck kills, though. I assume it's just Emrakul or something. I was supposed to counter that. This is probably how they kill. Yeah, it looks like it's probably just lightning bolts and snapcaster attacks. Alright, I'm dead. Certainly wish I had spells near that snapcaster, but I'm sure it wouldn't have mattered. Assume there's just another snapcaster somewhere. So don't think I want the red cards. And I definitely want negate and remand and I guess Dispel didn't really do anything. Might do something against opponent's sideboard cards, but I have enough counter spells without it that I probably shouldn't bother. Keeping Vapor Snag to use on my own creatures, I think that's fine. I think this is okay. I assume my opponent's going to just pass. But if I had attacked with Mutavault, it would give my opponent a window to resolve Dictate. So it's better to just wait. I guess here I could have attacked with Mutavault, because it turns on spells that are for 3. Possibly a mistake not to. Remand is pretty good against the Miracle Mechanic. Sack this in my upkeep. Well, I think I'm at the point where I want to start attacking with this. Mana Leak to protect me. And I guess I want to crack this, because if it makes my opponent fire off, it didn't. I was going to say if it makes my opponent Dictate in response, I get to Mana Leak it, which I'm happy about. don't attack with Mutavault because I want to be able to make plays that involve misbind click potentially. I don't want to play misbind click here because it's really bad if my opponent has lightning bolt. I'm just going to crack this and then untap. Still think I'm content just attacking for one, sitting on a lot of options. And here I'll go for misbind. So, let's see. If I flash in Snapcaster, I can put my opponent to 3, which is not terribly helpful. If I just attack with misbind, I'm putting my opponent to 7. And then I have to... No, I think I actually do want to play Snapcaster just to establish a 2-turn clock without needing to commit any more mana. And then I have Remand and Spellstutters, and apparently a backup Snapcaster to fight through my opponent's stuff. Get that just to leave an island in my deck, not that I expect the game to go long enough for it to come up. Attack here, and now my opponent has to resolve something. And I guess I should actually force the issue with the misbind now that I think about it. Because I think my opponent has to resolve a Time Warp to play the game, really. This is attempting to draw Temporal Mastery, I assume, which I would just remand, of course. Alright, I think this is still the right configuration. Let's see, the spell snares aren't great, but I think this is an acceptable hand to keep anyway. It's very close. This hand's definitely marginal, since I think Spell Snare is the weakest card in my deck, and I have two of them. I guess I don't care about my life total, so I might as well play Island, have Spell Snare up, even though I don't think there's any way that my opponent's just going to suddenly cast a 2-mana spell. I guess I just discard Spell Snare here. Debating between Remand and Vendilion. I think it's better to Remand to not let my opponent resolve a Dictate or something. And now I'm going to kind of put shields down for an end-step Vendilion. I want to get a clock going, and I'm not actually that afraid of a Dictate here. I think it's Time Warp. I don't think I care about Exhaustion. Well, there's no argument for slamming a Mistbind. I just don't think I'm in a position where I have to do that, because I have so much play. I can stop my opponent from doing anything that matters, and just build up to the point where I can Mistbind with protection. guess. No, I'm not going to pretend that matters. It doesn't matter. I'm still going to be able to have 4 mana, which casts Mana Leak and Negate. I definitely don't care about the 3 damage. I guess it makes the other exhaustion more likely to become a card. But that's fine. Even a real-time walk isn't really doing anything here because my opponent's not getting ahead in any way. At least not until they have mana to do that and Mikakoro. I guess building up to mana for that is getting ahead, and getting out of range of Mana Leak is getting ahead, so I don't really want to let a Time Walk resolve or something, but I'm far from seriously threatened. Might as well attack. So I'm not going to fight over card draw here. And I'm not going to fight over exhaustion. I guess I'm supposed to fight over this, but I actually think it's close. Now my opponent is in serious trouble. Well, I guess I have to Mana Leak that. Guess that means well, what's the worst that happens if I miss Bind Click? I don't think anything really bad can happen to me here. My opponent hasn't demonstrated being able to counter this or anything. No problem with that. Yep. Yeah, that's all basically what I was hoping would happen. So now Vapor Snag on my Mistbind click is another spell stutter trigger. My opponent is bound by mana rather than cards in hand, which is why I'm not bothering to cast the Vendilion click. Exhaustion is fine, it doesn't do anything. Oh. Well, you managed to build an effect. It's not going to work because I can just flash in Vendilion and kill you, but it's a good effort. Alright, so that was the match. Just the kind of deck that has a really hard time beating Faeries. Like, I have as many counter spells as they have relevant spells. They're making both of us draw more spells, and my spells are cheaper. So it's very difficult for things to line up in such a way that they can actually win. Something like Gigadress is a good attempt because it can't really be countered well, but still, I feel like so much has to go right for them.